It's wonderful that I am following you. That was a lovely, politics-free, whole vibe about New York, and I'm about to go the complete opposite direction because I am also from the United States, and I'm here to ask for your help. Sensitive content, please take care. I sit here tonight, a wisdom-scarred cycle breaker, an omen-sighted chaos dancer, a meaning weaver, a mad prophet, a witness. Happy Pride. Dyke, bitch! The shout came from the open window of a passing pickup truck, flying the stars and stripes with the middle stripe turned blue. I was walking home from the pharmacy when the slurs hit me. Before I had time to react, I saw a cop car up ahead. The officer had his window down too. He was hassling an unhoused neighbor in a wheelchair, so I stopped in the middle of the crosswalk, pulled out my phone, and started recording. "You can't block the sidewalk," the cop taunted. "Keep moving. That parking lot is private property. Get out of the street." When my neighbor asked where he was allowed to exist, the cop's voice got harder. "Not my problem. But if you don't figure it out, I'm taking you to jail." Just then, he saw me with my phone pointed at him, and he drove off. I shook my head at my neighbor as I walked past him. "Man, fuck the police," I said. "Got any spare change?" he answered. I wandered into the Philadelphia yearly meeting this spring before last. The meeting house was as old as the English colony of Penn's Woods, erected in the heart of Lenni Lenape territory. 2 red brick stories opened beneath skylights to wooden floors and long benches facing each other around a braided rug in the center. The expectant silence of meeting for worship was punctuated by every sniff, cough, and shift to the rhythm of the ticking wall clock and whirring ceiling fan. I had visited a handful of times before, searching for a way to hold my family in the light while I learned to love them from a healthier distance. I rose to share verbal ministry. "A stranger saved my life the other day," I testified. "I was standing on an overpass, spellbound by passing traffic below, and ready to jump." "What's wrong, Queen?" The maternal voice with a thick Nigerian accent pierced my trance by repeating the question until I finally turned around to see who was asking. I couldn't answer right away. That word, Queen, meant to uplift me, nettled the back of my neck and caught in the back of my throat. "What are you doing, Queen?" she pressed, while pressing her entire body against mine, physically checking me away from the ledge. I'm transgender," I blurted out in a shaky blubber. "My family doesn't accept me. My sister won't let me see her kids anymore because she thinks I'm a dangerous influence." My sister had begged me to please just try to see things from her perspective, I told the meeting, and so I did because I loved her and I wanted to understand. That's how I wound up on that ledge. I continued with my testimony. I hadn't meant to tell the stranger any of that, but she didn't hesitate. "God loves you, sister." "Don't call me sister," I hissed, deflecting her proffered comfort with the most readily available shield at my disposal, that nettling pain of being misgendered even here and now. The stranger still didn't miss a beat. "Okay, brother, God loves you." Close enough, I thought. I exhaled a weight off my chest. could God really love me enough to send a stranger to tell me so in my hour of need? Anyway, you cannot jump, she scolded me. Don't you know you will go to hell? My head started aching at the memory of the garden hose Mom duct taped to the tailpipe of Dad's car. She had believed in hell. Was she there now? Had I really been about to join her? That's a fucked up thing to say to someone in my state of mind, I told her. Returning my attention to the meeting house, I concluded, I went home and I got help and I'm safe now. But she saved me and then damned me, and I don't know how to hold the contradiction. Quaking, I took a seat on the long bench, my ears ringing through the expectant silence that followed. An elder stood from her bench and came over to sit beside me. Wrapping her arms around me, she whispered in my ear, "You're safe here." I sat in that meeting house for the last time, when the leaves had all let go already, and the ground was brown and cold. I knew that I was saying goodbye, but my friends didn't realize they would never see me again. I sang a hymn from my childhood as my parting ministry. Here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord? I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, if you lead me. I will hold your evil in my heart. I remember the faces of those who did not survive what I have survived. I carry their stories in my scars, speak their suffering in my resilience. I'm ready to talk about the fear. In the days following the election, everyone in my community who wasn't actively suicidal was doing suicide prevention work. The lesbians in my life checked in first, of course. I passed them flyers about mental health resources to distribute. Anarchists were there from the start, too. They and a small handful of cishet allies were essential to my escape plan, and when I reached out through secure channels, they were ready. While I drove around gathering supplies, I avoided the MAGA trucks doing victory laps along the highway because I was afraid of what they might now feel emboldened to do if they saw my bumper stickers. I said goodbye to a few dear friends I trusted enough to tell that I was leaving. I sat in rooms full of people who didn't know and tried to be intentional about my parting impression. Most people were acting like nothing had changed. Their denial was rooted in the same fear baked into the fabric of our society that made us all so vulnerable to propaganda. Nobody wanted politics to ruin the upcoming holiday season. Their choice to look away hurt, but nowhere near as much as it hurt to see real fear in the eyes of friends who understood what was coming. That fear hardened into resolve as we discussed the different faces of resistance and tried to memorize each other's faces before parting indefinitely. I felt like a ghost moving through the world I was leaving behind. Some goodbyes were kept cryptic for the sake of plausible deniability. I'm going to take that winter holiday road trip I was telling you about, I said, knowing my neighbor would understand I wasn't coming back. Would you mind picking up my mail for a while? I kept reminding myself I wasn't doing anything illegal. If I wanted to leave, I was allowed to leave. The point was to leave while that was still true. The IRS can get in line behind the Social Security Administration and the insurance companies, I told the financial agent, who reminded me there could be penalties for accessing my own emergency funds if my paper trail, which they'd fight every step of the way, didn't properly satisfy their definition of an emergency. I'm too sick to work. I've lost everything, and now you've all voted in the next Hitler. It is what it is at this point. I burned every journal and sensitive document that I didn't pack. I put out food and cold weather shelters for the neighborhood cats. I took down my Halloween decorations and hung a Christmas wreath. I washed the last dish. I took out the last bag of trash. I sat in my favorite armchair, looking around my apartment and trying to wrap my mind around the fact that it was for the last time. Everything that hadn't fit in my car was exactly where I'd left it, as though I really was just taking that road trip after all. I locked up, slipped out the back, started my car, and drove north. Wrap up with a call to action. I wrote I stand here, but I guess I sit here. I sit here tonight in solidarity with my hunger-striking neighbors who are being tortured inside a New Jersey concentration camp called Delaney Hall. I stand or sit here tonight in solidarity with my comrades outside the barbed wire, enduring flashbangs and batons and tear gas and bullets because they know our neighbors inside are enduring far worse. If my story tonight has moved you, please consider donating to the Delaney Hall Legal Aid and Bond Fund to help free someone from detention in this concentration camp. I'll be passing around some papers with a QR code with more information and a link to donate. Thank you.
Thank you, Kay Francis. When asked, excited for June, they respond, Happy Pride, with a little drawing of the pride flag. Socials, Kelly-Francis. Next up, we have Vanessa.